Impossible though it seemed, matters have got worse for Essendon. The Bombers forced into 6 changes as they prepare for the prime-time opener to round 19.
Jake Stringer is making his presence felt as a giant. As he prepares to take on the old mob, he joins us at the desk.
And the last refuge of the September desperates, our coaches on the moment you're telling yourself you're still a finals chance.
We've talked about is to step into it, embrace all of it.
Get in the room and fix it.
It's unedifying for a senior coach to do that.
They're on the side of caution with the brain. Take the man off.
They played the best footy I've ever seen at the start of the season. And if you'd said Brisbane lift the cup, I would have said, of course they do.
It's the stuff that legends are made of.
What is holding the ball? I don't think I could answer it clearly right now.
I could do something wrong, you know, and I need to go. And the board sacks me.
The fans love it, and with no fans, no 360 road.
Round 19 comes into sight with all its various angles. Gaz, hello.
Gerard, good to see you.
There's a deep sense of mourning in South Australia tonight for the passing of a man who many regard as the best footballer the state ever saw. Barrie Robran has passed away aged 77. And I think the best measure of his greatness came in 2001 when he was elevated to legend status in the Australian Football Hall of Fame. And at the time, he was the first to reach legend status who hadn't played any part of his career in Victoria. And when you look at his AFL CV, any wonder?
Yeah, a pleasure for me to be reading up on him today. Obviously, I was aware of him, but 7 best and fairest in a row, Gerard. He won 3 McGarry medals. He was runner-up in his first year by a vote. They were all before the age of 27. He played Shield cricket for South Australia, so just throw that into the mix. And from everything I read, some great stories today, he put the fairest in best and fairest. Was just played in a pure manner, got the statue there and is renowned as the best to come out of Adelaide, and that's always, you know, a debatable point, but no one's suggesting he's not in the Quinella. His son Matthew's a 2-time premiership player. His other son John played for Hawthorn and Adelaide, I think. So in moments like this, it is good to go deep on these players that you're not that familiar with, and by hell, what a footballer he was, and our sympathies and thoughts are with everyone in Adelaide, particularly his family.
That Plaza Gate is our entrance, so every time we go to Adelaide Oval, we pass him by. It's such a graceful pose, and he was clearly such a graceful footballer. Our legends are such precious figures. So 20 have now passed and 13 are living. Yep. And in the 13 that are living, we've got Kevin Murray, Bob Skilton, and as Alex Jesaulenko, who everyone's thoughts are with and have been for a little while now. This was Andrew Dillon's testament. This is a terribly sad day for South Australian football, as Barrie Robran was the outstanding player in a time when the game was built around state pride and testing yourselves at a state level against the best from around the country. So all that he did for North Adelaide, and then what he was able to do in the South Australian jumper as well. So,
Question, actually, you may or may not know, I'll find out. The V on the North Adelaide jumper, do you know what that represents? Because I was reading and looking at these photos and I thought, he swapped jumpers in a state game there. Do you know? Do we know?
No.
Someone will tell us. We'll have that by the first ad break.
They will. So Barrie Robran, well remembered right across the football world today. Here's what we have for you lined up tonight. John Longmire and Adam Simpson are together in Sydney. Jake Stringer at the desk. Monique Conti is going to join us as well. Now, it's after midnight in Las Vegas as we're going to join Jonathan Brown. On a scale of 1 to 172, how risky is this as a proposition?
Magnificently risky. Stay tuned. I think he just lobbed today, so...
With an NRL crew, if we don't mind.
With Willie Mason, he said that he was on his flight, so I'd stand by. I think he will He'll present well, the great man, but what a big fight it is.
What a big fight indeed. And then First Crack preview follows immediately after us. Jay Clark is here to guide David King and Lee Montagna through all that they have found in the numbers and in the vision as we look towards round 19. A D-Day. Who is it D-Day for thanks to Aussie Broadband?
Well, there are a few options. I'm going to lump on the Dockers. So back it up. Come over here, take on the biggest challenge in footy right now and beat Collingwood at the MCG where it needs to get done. Thought their performance against Hawthorn was really good, and now they've got to come over. Set the bar high for yourselves. I mean, I'm sure they're aiming at a top 4 spot, and in a season it's up for grabs, this premiership, then aim high. Their record against top 9 sides, good, 5 wins and 2 losses. but this is where you get real footy credibility, at the home of football on a Sunday afternoon. So their tackling pressure we highlighted on Monday, they're going to bring that again, but don't get too sucked into the contest, because balance against this Collingwood team's really important. But it is the ultimate challenge, and Justin Longmire spoke on this today.
There's no bigger challenge in footy than going to the MCG and taking on Collingwood. You understand that you got to take on them as a team and the best team in the comp, but you also take on the occasion and the crowd. And we've spoken about that. We're going to embrace that challenge. It's a good opportunity to see where our footy sits.
We will find out, and I've left a little opening for you. I think you're going to take it.
The Bulldogs. So we'll be there at the Gabba on Friday night. They've already met. They played in Gather Round at Norwood. It's the most fun game of the season that we've had. Dogs were big leaders. They got run down. Look, we recounted this on Monday night, and it's the number that's going to sit over the Bulldogs until they take scalps on the way in. They're 1-7 against the 9 teams in contention. They're 9-0 against the bottom half of the ladder.
They are what they are.
They are. So they've got Brisbane, the Giants and Fremantle on the run-in. To guarantee themselves a place in the final, they're going to need to win one of those. But to have any credibility come September, they need to win multiples there. And what a way that would be to start against the Lions at the Gabba. So you referenced this is when Luke Beveridge sometimes can do his best coaching. Can he alter what they are, and will we see that on Friday night? Because that's an unflattering picture as we measure up the premiership contenders. Time to set it right for the Dogs. Luke Beveridge has an eye toward Friday night.
As I've said before, in all those games we've been in them. We've been beaten by small margins against good sides. We know where they've beaten us, what aspects of the game. And what do you put that down to? There are so many variables in the game that relate to better opposition just getting you by 2 or 3 goals. So to play a really rounded game and really challenge the Lions and ultimately beat them on their own dunghill, be a huge lifter for us.
You can only rationalise these things for so long. It's time to get busy for the Bulldogs. So we'll be there Friday night right here on Fox Footy. Coverage starts from 6:30. All right, that sets the agenda pretty well. Right at the top of it is what happens tomorrow night. 6 force changes for Essendon as the injury crisis reaches ludicrous proportions. They have a Giants team coming and they are massing. They are coming in a serious way, the Giants. And one of the key figures is Jake Stringer, who is revealing the possibilities.
Stringer in there. Oh, he's having some fun. He's Jakey boy.
He's making a really great contribution, not only hitting the scoreboard, but playing a role and pressuring and, a really good tackle in forward pockets where he didn't kick the goal, but it's just a sign of his intent to support his teammates and really contribute. And that's what we love about him most so far.
Stringer. Mr. Jones set it up. Mr. Stringer with the finish. Stringer! Stringer! Holy Stringer. It had to be him.
He's playing a really important role in the ball. He's bobbing up and kicking some goals. That Gold Coast game a few weeks ago, he kicked 2 of the more amazing goals you'll see right when we needed them.
The impossible angle. Oh, Stringer!
Feels like he's coming good at the right time. Our players loving having him as a teammate and really enjoying him.
This was the possibility when Jake Stringer headed to Sydney, and it is revealing itself. 7 goals in 3 weeks and the best performance so far last week. Jake, it's great to have you in town. It's great to have you on 360. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How are you feeling about your footy over the past few weeks?
Yeah, really enjoying it. Obviously had a little bit of an interrupted start to the season, but the work I put in over that period has set me up for the back half of the year.
Were you made to earn it? Were you made to earn your place in this team?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as soon as I got there, it was put on me that the hard work and what they do through the pre-season. In the first week, I knew straight away that it was going to be a long pre-season. But credit to the footy club and how they go about it, and all the players led by Toby Green. I lived with him for the first 4 weeks that I was in there, so that really set the tone for me.
Were you nervous going up there?
Absolutely. Yeah.
For your footy mortality, or just a new environment, or doubts about whether or not you still, could cut it at the level?
Yeah, probably all of them. I thought I could still cut it at the level, but obviously going into somewhere as a 30-year-old and, I wasn't super close with anyone really going there. So for them to get around me the way they did, and to be honest, it feels like I've been there for a long time.
Sometimes you just find your right place. And I know you had great times at the Western Bulldogs and you had great times at the Essendon Footy Club at various stages of your life. It looks to us from the outside that this is the right place for you right now.
Yeah, definitely. I think Sydney helps that as a whole, and I'm really enjoying the lifestyle up there. Landed today, had to put the jumper on straight away. So, it's just, being able to go to the beach every day if you want to. It's just sort of, it helps.
Is that the anonymity part of it in that as well? Because you've been a player of great fascination from the moment you arrived at the Western Bulldogs and again at Essendon. Now, you get up there, you've got bigger names in this side than you who attract all of the attention. You're always a subject of fascination with us. But has that been part of it all?
Yeah, I think definitely. But it's just, to be able to, go sit at the beach and not one person in Coogee really know you is pretty cool. Feels like you're in a different part of the world sometimes. So, and you sort of got that whole stretch along there, which is so beautiful. So you can sort of go to any pocket any day. I just take the kids, and we love it.
When you're in a new environment, and I imagine you're searching for a moment to prove yourself, how important was the last quarter of that Suns game when you kicked those 2 goals, which are absolutely pivotal?
Yeah, I think that was sort of, for me, was the moment it felt like that they were like, OK, he's here, if that makes sense. Yep. So, I mean, after the game, it was probably one of the better feelings I've had in my time because the boys were going nuts about it. So, it was pretty cool. But, to be able to back it up over the next couple of weeks is also very pivotal because, the position we're in at the minute, we're fighting every week.
How's the body week after week after week?
Yeah, really good. Off a 5-day break, feeling really good. I don't know if that helps because we're playing Essendon tomorrow or not. But, it's, I feel like I'm starting to get into that match mode where week to week starts to become a bit easier and trainings can stay at a high level.
We spoke to Adam Monday and you had a couple of hammies and then you're ill, I think you're crook for a while, and then you come back as the sub. In a way, it might have been a blessing. It just holds you back a bit, gives you a chance to put another block of training together. And 6 weeks out, you look fantastic. You must be jumping out of your skin. Does that work for you?
Yeah, definitely. And that was the thing that Adam was really clear with after my last hammy. They said I'd be probably back in 2 weeks. And so I sort of got my head around that, and then he was very quick to sit me down and go, mate, you're not playing for 6 weeks, right, and you're going to train and you're going to train hard.
How important is it to have that clarity for you?
Oh, it was massive because it just gets all that worrying about coming back to play and then getting the routine of playing. It just sort of built me to be able to go, OK, this is what's required for the next 4 weeks. I don't really have to worry about footy. Yep. I can just put my head down, work hard, get my nutrition right and make sure that, towards the back end of the year, I pay it back off to him.
The capacity to do the hard work, which I think has been one of the questions that has surrounded you for a while. So the willingness to do it has clearly been there at the Giants. Have you had moments where that's been a challenge for you? And is it sort of really sharp for you at the moment?
No, I wouldn't say so. I'd say that I've always been pretty hard-working, in my time at football. It's just probably, being able to... I probably struggled when I couldn't train, or if I was having an injury, I'd battle through that and then get into that vicious cycle of playing injured for 3 or 4 weeks and you're not training and all that type of stuff. That was probably what I struggled the most with, was that getting the continuity right through a whole season. I'd always have an interrupted somewhere along the line, and that sort of pushes you back and back, which I think that 6-week break that Adam sort of gave me to just go, you can train and then we'll talk about playing after that.
And what's been the best part of Adam Kingsley for you so far?
Just everything. He sits you in his office and asks about life and, how the kids are going, how they're settling in. But then he's also very quick to tell you what he needs from you on the weekend, whether, that's forward pressure needs to lift or whether it's leading or whatever it is. He's just very direct in what he wants and what he expects from you.
What are you capable of as a team? You're getting it right. Your record against top sides is really good. What are you capable of?
Yeah, I think we're starting to really turn the screws up a bit, and they've been pretty adamant that come the second half of the year, that was going to happen. And
in terms of the way they set the year up?
Yeah. And
how's that communicated to you then? You can't say, listen, we're going to come rattling home in the back half.
Nah, it's not. But it just talks about building the game and building our game throughout. And I think, we're starting to get our game style up and running, and it feels like the belief's very high.
You must be excited about a forward line of Cadman and Green and Riccardi and Bedford and whoever else is running around down there. I mean, we know Jesse. Jesse's revealed himself. We know your history. We know Toby. Aaron Cadman's the excitement machine right now. What can you tell us about him? What's his ceiling? How good can he be?
Yeah, Cads was one of those ones that, when I first got to the Giants, I was probably most, sort of gone wow.
Right.
Yeah, he was, in the pre-season, he was dominating, taking big pack marks. And when we first sort of started playing in the earlier weeks, I kept saying to Jeremy Laidlaw, who's our forwards coach, I'm like, this kid's going to have a game, and when he has that game, that's going to be unbelievable, because I think his ceiling's huge.
What's his mindset? Give us a little insight into that.
Oh, he's extremely hard-working. Yeah. He works hard every...
Competitor?
Yeah, real competitor at training. And now he's starting to reap the rewards of all the hard work he's put over the last few years. And
the better he plays, the more the best defender goes to them, mate. So it's good for you.
I'm more than happy for him to keep kicking goals.
How are you feeling about playing the old team?
Yeah, good. Really excited. It's obviously challenge round this week, which was a close game for me. I've been the ambassador with them for pretty much the best part of the last 8 years, so sort of helped get the kids in and do all that type of stuff. So I'm super excited to be able to see that before the game. But obviously, once the ball gets bounced up, it'll be game on.
Zach Merritt spoke with us last night about the impact that you'd had around this challenge game. So it obviously had a really special place in your heart.
Yeah, it does. Still to this day, it does. Getting the little tingles and funny feeling, watching the boys get to do that, because I know how much it means to the kids and how much tomorrow it means to them getting to run out and run through the banner. Very proud to obviously be able to watch that, and a bit sad that I can't obviously be walking a kid through there, but I'll go over and say hello for sure.
Who's the teammate you're most looking forward to a bit of physical contact with?
Hopefully me and Jane Laverty are playing on each other.
Yeah, you fancy that?
Yeah, I was in his wedding party, so
nice.
Yeah, we'll have a good laugh.
All right.
That's awesome. Well done on what you've been able to do to here. I mean, it is re-establishing yourself at a footy club, and you've done that, and there's doubters along the way everywhere, but with 6 weeks to go, you're beautifully placed. So congratulations. Hope it's a big day for you tomorrow, and good luck for the rest of the year. You smell good too. What are you wearing tonight?
No idea.
Just natural scent.
Just natural.
Jake, great to have you with us. Jake Stringer with us on 360. The other side of the equation is Essendon. Zach Merritt here last night. Brad Scott at training today.
Are you just absolutely unequivocally putting that to bed and saying that's just made up, that stuff?
Yeah, I'm all in. I'm contracted for 2 more years. I'm the captain of the footy club. I've got so much trust in Brad and what he's doing, and I really want to see that through, and that plan through. The strategy is a bit longer than I probably would hopefully have liked when I signed 4 years ago, but I think it's pretty clear now. As I said, these kids are coming through, and yeah, I want to taste that ultimate success with the footy club.
Zach is as committed, and I've talked about his will to win repeatedly, and he just wants what's best for this football club, and he wants success for this football club. He is not the type to jump out of a leaking ship. He's the type who's fully committed, and what he said last night is just what I've always known. So it's no surprise to me, but it's probably good for others who might ask the question.
It feels like a very strong bond between captain and coach at the moment.
Yeah, no, he did a good job last night, Zach. I mean, everyone knows the challenge, and it just gets harder and harder, but I thought he was almost defiant last night. There's rumours are rumours. I don't know where these come from, but all you can do is put it to him, and he, as Brad said, he would have given some great comfort to the Essendon fans. So he gets a few back. He loses a few, but he gets some experience back into the side, ironically.
So the players that he hasn't been playing, are going to be there. So the quick look at the teams is for the Giants, Kelly and Hogan are the two that were managed, as Adam Kingsley sort of hinted that there were going to be a couple and tipped his hand on Hogan. But this is the Essendon side of things. So injured Setterfield, managed Caddy, he's injured. Injured Martin, managed Goldstein, injured Sardis, which was an extra one today, and Hobbs. But Perkins, Gresham, Shield and Guelphy, who we've all been going, what the hell?
Yeah.
They're all in.
621 games of experience come into a side that is playing its 13th debutant. So I think that's pointed. I do. I really do. I think if you're Archie Perkins or Jay Gresham or Dylan or Matt Guelphy, then you've got a 6-week block here to do something. You know, you've got an opportunity this weekend. We know the injury list. It's been flashed across every TV screen, you know, every time there's a footy show on. So we understand that. But they're in. They've got an opportunity tomorrow night and to say, hang on, I don't know where it's been, or I'm not sure about their whole history, but there's a 6-week block to say, no, I'm here for the haul.
Yeah, that's the play for your career, either here or currency elsewhere. So you should get 4 pretty richly motivated veterans.
Well, if you don't, then you get your answer.
Yeah, you do. You do. All right, that's the setup for Thursday night. We're bound for Sydney next. Adam Simpson is going to join John Longmire. So our favourite pairing here on 360 with their wealth of experience as premiership players and coaches. What this time of year represents to those who are in the mad hustle, to those who are on the fringes, and to those who are desperately clutching to life.
Every night chasing a million things I want.
He was grabbed and holding the ball, tackled by Pitternet. And it's going to be on the siren. So is the big fella launch a talk? That's the question. Got to weigh up how embarrassed you want to be, Gerard. Go for it. He's got onto it! He's got onto it! It was a dead set bomb. Never doubted him, Kingy. I did.
Mark Pitternet with the man on the mark standing about 52 metres out. Surely has no option but to go for a barrel. Mark Pitternet with a top. He's got flight to it. He's got the juice. He does. Channeling his best Malcolm Blight.
He never kicked these at training, Jack. It's the first time we've seen Carlton smile in a month.
Go the top. Net. I think you might be hanging on Montour, is he? Come on, big fella. Give us something to remember. He's hit it very nicely. It's a ball buster. He's kicked the goal. Oh, that's fantastic.
The world was divided into two, those who believed and those that didn't.
That was well edited. I think Simmo might have a bit more to answer for on the back of that.
A little faith?
You have no faith.
At the salubrious surrounds of Sydney headquarters, we find our coaches together, John Longmire and Adam Simpson. Welcome to you both.
Good to be with you, gents. Hey, boys.
Simmo never doubted him for a moment?
Oh, I doubted him a lot, actually. Yeah. I can't say I've seen Pitternet kick a top. It almost spun perfectly, but it went 60 and it went straight.
John, have you given him the tour of the Swans facility?
Yes, Gerard. Had a bit of a look through when he turned up here. It's the first time that Simmo's been here and had a bit of a look. So it was great to be able to show him through what we first of all designed and then the build and how it actually works. What do you think, mate?
Does remind me a bit of Arden Street back in 1993 when I got drafted. The old school portables. No, it's actually very well designed. The fact that this where we are now is right in the middle of the facility, so everyone's got a little glimpse of the indoor training facility, which I'm assuming you use a couple of times a week. So everything seems connected. So it's a great facility, and it looks future-proof really, because there's always expansion as well.
Yeah. Still got to sweat though, mate. Still got to sweat like we did at the Kangas.
And Horse's office, Simmo, just how big is it? Is it the biggest in the joint?
We're in it. This is Horse's office. So this is the...
I've just got a little bar fridge set up over there and my ensuite's just over to the right there, yeah.
Very nice. And before we delve into the scenarios of teams at this time of year, Simmo, we just wanted to... Harley Reid is the centre of a lot of debate and attention at the moment. And the way that he's playing his footy, from how he presented right at the start, which you were hands-on with, to where he is now in the grip of, I don't know whether it's frustration or precisely what do you see when you look at him, knowing him as a person as well as a player?
Gerard, I am the wrong person to ask because I'm going to have rose-coloured glasses for the rest of my life with Harley, and he can get rubbed out for 12 weeks, and because I can say what I want, I'm just going to back him in. So I'm not really interested in the rhetoric around his form or what he's done, so I'm probably the wrong person to ask because I know the kid and I know what he's working through. I know where he's going to go, and I've just got nothing but empathy. So I maybe Horse is a better person to ask for advice because I'll just back him in no matter what, and I know that's what McWalder's doing. I know the criticism's a little bit around, they should be teaching him a lesson. It looked to me on game day, he came off at the 5-minute mark in the first quarter and he got on the phone and obviously would have had a chat that we've had a million times before. So don't underestimate what happens behind closed doors and don't judge him too early is probably the only thing I'm going to say.
Well, I look at maybe Toby Green early days. He might have been pushing the boundaries at different things and suspensions or whatever it was, but a bit of maturity. I keep on saying it about these guys. Give me the competitors, mate.
Well, it's interesting. There's two types of prodigies, isn't there? There's the Nick Dacos, ready to go, Bontempelli, those guys who's come in, they're full-on professional, barely need to do any coaching. And then there's the rough diamonds, which, no disrespect, but Buddy and Dusty and DeGoey, and I'm assuming Harley is in, well, I know, he's not in the perfect player just yet, but he could be anything in the future and it just needs a bit of polish, that's all. So I'm willing to be patient.
Your task today is that we're at a tipping point. There's 6 weeks to go. There are the teams who are in the mad scramble to make it. There are those who are solidifying themselves at the top. There's those in the grip of mathematical possibility, which is the last refuge of the desperate. And then there are those who are done. John, you've set up for us the continuum, the finals continuum for our comp right now.
Yeah, Gerard. I guess it's, for the teams that are just outside the 8, or particularly the teams that are really no chance of making the 8, where are they really at? I mean, those discussions will be happening behind closed doors in the clubs amongst the key people, and I sort of broke it up into where are we at as a team? You know, is it blow it up stage? Is it sort of rebuilding? Is it still rebuilding, or are we a genuine, top 4 contender? And along those discussions you've got to be really honest with where your list is at, and understanding exactly where you're at. Because if you pull the wrong rein going into trade period, for instance, or in a recruiting sense, it can actually set you back a fair bit. And Simmo was having a bit of a look at some of the teams, and where are they? Where are some of these teams sitting at the moment?
Probably a few teams that we wouldn't know from the outside. Like you probably think about Melbourne, Port Adelaide, and Carlton. They're the 3 sides, I suppose, from the outside. Where are they really at? Are they blow the joint up? Are they rebuild? Are they just reset with injuries? So they're the 3 clubs that, without being critical at all, it's just what is the next step for them?
Yeah, and it gives them an opportunity to have internal discussions, not listen to the outside discussions, listen to the internal people and make a really sound decision about where you need to go to from here.
So you want to make the right decision, and then, blow it up feels drastic, but is there a circumstance in which you can choreograph the blowing up rather perfectly and get it right quickly?
Yeah, I think so. I think there are cases that blow it up doesn't mean blow the whole football department up. It can, or make the biggest changes. It can be just parts of the club that you know that you need to get right. And there's experienced football people in every club that are having those discussions and sitting down and talking about it where they are. I mean, in 2020, for instance, we only won 5 games for the season, but we got through the season really strongly. It was the first year of COVID. So it wasn't a case of blowing everything up, but it was a case of resetting, sticking to the process that we'd set a couple of years ago as far as playing younger players, and keep on rebuilding. And we got a really good quick spike the next year and made the finals.
All right, so the teams that are in the phase of desperately chasing and trying to kindle some sort of hope, which does bring to mind the scene from Dumb and Dumber.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
Yeah! John, so you've lived you're telling me there's a chance.
Absolutely, Gerard. I've lived it, and so has Simmo. We were just talking about it before we come on air. He's got an example of when I cost him. But we started the season 0-6 in 2017, and we had to go on an enormous run to get there. In 2023, we were in the same boat. We're 14th at one stage at the back end of the year. And to talk about, to motivate your players and trying to get them to live in the land of hope to get to the end of the season, how you pull those reins in a motivational sense. In 23, it was talking to the younger players, a few of the fire starters, getting them really excited and doing something that maybe not many other teams have been able to do from that position. So every team's got an opportunity to be able to set something unique. And in 14, Simmo, we ended up making some decisions that weren't too happy about.
No, in 14, it was my first year in 14, and everything had to go right. It was literally telling me there's a chance, and we had 6 rounds to go. There's probably this round back then, and we did top 6 and 6. So we said to our playing group, if we don't make finals, that's the way it is. But can we start the ladder at 0 now, and let's see if we can finish top 6 in the last 6 rounds. So we got to the last round, and it actually turned out a few teams above lost a few games. So we needed Sydney to lose the last game, and we needed to win the last game. So we're up in Queensland, and Sydney decided to rest 5 different players, including Barrie, and they played Richmond, who we needed to lose. So Richmond won by 3 points, and they finished 8th, and we won our game the next day, and we finished 9th by percentage. So Horses cost me again.
We'll like that phone call. Well, what about when you're out of it, Horse? This is the other thing. So you've got to motivate the players, you've got to sell it to the rest of the coaching team, you've got to sell it to the supporting group. How honest are you with that? How do you do it in a way that maintains competitiveness? I mean, I reckon that would be a tricky conversation.
Yeah, there's a couple of ways to do it, Gaz. I mean, there was one year we did it with, in 2020, once again, it was essentially building a bridge. We're not going to play finals this year, but we want to play finals next year. Always selling the hope that you're on a path of finals football at some point. And that's, in our sense, we were trying to make that point not too far down the track. And so we had building the bridge analogy, which was just building the steps, the teams between now and the end of this season that sets us up for a good pre-season into next year back to finals football. So that's a really important element. And the other important element, probably the most important element, is have your key pillars all aligned on that. So your chair, your CEO, your football manager and your coach. And if everyone's aligned on that, no matter how drastic and how under pressure you feel at the time, you usually come out the okay way at the end of the day, and you start to sell the hope for the following season. That's really important for a few clubs at the moment.
We saw the results too of those teams that bounced in the space of 12 months. And then when you cooked, Simmo, not that I want to direct this to you necessarily, but when the Bombers are at this stage now and they've got injuries and they're struggling.
I'll take this one.
What are you selling here?
Well, when you're planning your footy trip at round 10, you're probably cooked. And we were, unfortunately, it happens. If you're in the industry long enough, you're going to go through a period of reset, and whether that's a coach, CEO, list manager, the players. I mean, North Melbourne went through it several years ago, and, at least the acknowledgement that it's time is happened. And then that's when there's drastic change. So what you do with the playing group, that's probably the biggest challenge, I would have thought, Horse, where you're not selling hope, because hope is gone. You're selling the little wins and trying to stay united and connected as much as you can. And there's some clubs doing that now. Obviously, the teams at the bottom of the ladder who know their fate already, have known it for a long period of time. This is the period it gets really tough, when there's still 6 weeks to go, and what are we actually playing for? And some players can turn selfish, so you really lean on your trademark and your values across not only the team but the club as well. So it's an important leadership piece that I went through, and a lot of coaches go through when their hope is lost.
All right, the planning at the tipping point. Hey, have a great night in Sydney. It won't be as big as Brownie's night in Vegas, but I'm sure you'll find a way to amuse yourselves.
Good on you. Thanks, guys.
See you, boys.
John Longmire and Adam Simpson, our coaches. So we are Vegas bound next after midnight with Brownie, who's taken the junket to the boxing.
Look out, Gerard. Hopefully we find him. Hope he finds us. Hope he's got someone directing him.
What an entourage.
Long way from Warner
by now. It is Jonathan Brown in Vegas ahead of the Tszyu fight for main event next.
Almost holds down the drain.
They say in sport you've got to play hurts. Let me tell you the tale from the Carlton draft of Premiership Eagle Will Schofield, who, playing for Hill End, tore his quad in the second term. Tore his quad. He couldn't move. But would that stop him? No. He fronted up for the Rovers, kicked an inspirational goal, and just laid tackle after tackle. A stationary man can do an awful lot in suburban footy. Will Schofield winning the hearts and the minds of the crowd and playing to them as well. So there are those who have been injured and had to depart. Not Will Schofield. He went the distance with the Rovers. Sunday's a huge day of footy. It's also the biggest fight card of the year. Coming on Main Event, the quest for redemption for Tszyu.
He should have killed me the first time, because I'm coming back with revenge. I'm going in there to hurt him.
He's back! Brutality towards immortality.
It is the biggest fight card of the year on Main Event. We'll be watching from home, but Gaz, with the boxing connoisseurs and the fight fans and the mecca that is Vegas, that's where we find our very own Jonathan Brown. Hello, Brownie.
G'day, boys. Reporting for duty just out the front of the MGM Grand. It's taken me about half an hour to find me hotel room, but we're here. We've been interviewing Tszyu today at training. It's been a magnificent few days so far.
A modern-day Gus McCurachrome you are, there's no question about that. That right hook you threw on Josh Carr's paid off beautifully for you. Here you are in Vegas, one of the biggest fight nights of the world. We're stuck in Melbourne. You're sitting outside the MGM Grand.
It's amazing, as I was auditioning 20 years ago, Gaz, for this role, so it is a dream job of mine. Not that I've got a hell of a lot of fight credentials. My sister won a Victorian state title. Ironically, she's a trauma nurse, so there you go, Gab. Shout out to Gabs at home. So that's about as far as my boxing experience goes. But as you know, Gaz, I've always loved the fights, and I've taken over from Gerard, because I think Gerard worked on the fights there a couple of years ago. But when they offered up this trip to Las Vegas, just a little sneak away from the family and sneak away from footy for a weekend, I jumped at it.
Couldn't get your old mate alongside you. You couldn't have said to Crawls and the boys, like, I think Gazza needs to come for this one.
No, it's been good. We've had a great. You're a little bit patchy, as I said, boys, but we've had a great few days. So we went to Tszyu's training today, and he looks in really good shape. Like, he looks, obviously he's got to cut weight for the fight. He's probably only got a couple of kilos to go, but he looks really good in the eyes. He was training really well. He's been training against 6'5" southpaws, and being a southpaw myself, I offered my services to Tim, but he politely declined, so I was a little bit flat about that, boys.
How big a fight in the trajectory of Tszyu's career is this, Brownie?
Well, Tim just said to me tonight that, you know, this is career defining, and really, if he loses, it's career over. So that's how big he thinks it is. It's obviously at the world stage. It's a WBC welterweight title, so it's one of the really big belts. It's at the home of boxing, as we can see, the MGM Grand, which has been made famous over the journey, including with his father there 20-odd years ago when he knocked out Zab Judah at the very same venue. So Tim understands the enormity, but I think a great sign today, just looking at how relaxed he was. And I always think, you know, the athletes that are relaxed, they're confident, they've got that self-belief in the last few days before a major event in their life, a major sporting event, holds them in good stead. And I feel like Tim is in the right shape to go and get the job done and bring home that belt back to Australia.
Now, that is great to hear, and it's important, and it's Main Event. We're all going to tune in, don't you worry about that. But what's on the agenda for you tonight? I know it's just before midnight. I know you're just starting to get your eye in. What have you got planned?
Well, there's a few rugby league boys on this trip, and as we know, the boys, they're not exactly choir boys. So, so we'll go and have a couple. Georgie Rose, of course, the promoter with No Limit, who's done a fantastic job, along with his brother Matt. And I was a little bit concerned when Willie Mason walked off the plane. There's a bit of a red light flashing across around Willie Mason, but he's a nice fella. So it's a good trip there. There's quite a few Aussies over here, obviously. Not quite as big as the round when they play the rugby league over here, but there's plenty of Aussies floating around. It's going to be a great few days. Obviously, Sunday in Australia at 10 a.m, that's going to be the key start point. So get down early, get your sausages, get your box of soda water, and maybe forget about the kids' junior footy on Sunday morning and book the fight.
And a bit of Manny Pacquiao thrown in as well, Brownie. So it is a stacked card.
Yes. It's amazing, isn't it? Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time, at 46 years old, fighting for another world title. I think this would be title number 11, which would be amazing performance. There was a few Filipinos on the plane on the way over. So there'll be great excitement. The MGM Garden Arena holds 16,000 people, so that'll be chock full. It's going to be a great... I remember going on my honeymoon, believe it or not, I went to watch Manny train in Los Angeles all those years ago. So I was nearly divorced at the end of my honeymoon after going on all these boxing tours. But Manny is just a ripping bloke and obviously a huge name in boxing. So that helps the card as well. It's going to be a huge headline event along with Tim and Manny.
Last one, mate, for me. I think the Summer G League is on over there as well in Vegas. You've seen some big names getting around town, or a bit of celebrity row anywhere?
Well, being obviously working the fight coverage, Gaz, I'll be in the celebrity row, so we'll be front row. We've got the best seats in the house, so I will be on the lookout though. I've had to sort of work out the kids. I text my daughter Olivia, who's 15 years old. You know Liv, because you had to give her a talking to about chatting back to the umpires, Gaz, a few weeks ago. But she ran me through the filters on your phone, Gaz. When you do the selfie with the celebrities, I've got the right filters, so don't worry, I'll be looking like an oil painting.
Bring something back. The big Wemby's over there, I'm being told, so that's your target for us. No, he's dropped out, big fella. He's dropped out.
Brownie, enjoy it. It's the QR code on screen to order the fight. So that the early bout, 7:30 Sunday morning, are on Fox Sports 505, and then the main events on Main Event from 10 a.m. We'll hear the stories in retrospect.
And the photos.
Do you think the lost in translation was the tech issues, or do you think those are Brownie issues?
I think that's his fourth can. I can just see he's just starting to hit his straps, the big fella.
Wouldn't have it any other way. All right, we'll tidy up with the picks next. And an eye toward Monday night, Coaches Night here on 360. Chris Scott and Sam Mitchell are going to join us. The events of round 19 will be in sharp focus. These two still have work to do to iron out their credentials for September coming and their place in the scheme of things. Chris Scott, Sam Mitchell, join us on Monday. Time for our Pointsbet update with Jack Heverin. Jack, welcome.
Thanks very much, Gerard. Well, Friday night footy is where we want to play this week. The Brisbane Lions and the Western Bulldogs at the Gabba. This game should be a lot of fun, and it should be really, really interesting as well. You can see our head-to-head betting that is available at the moment as well. It's got the Lions favourite, justifiably so. They do some of their best work at the Gabba. The line sits at 10.5. Total points might be worth a little look as well at 173.5. But if we're taking a look at a same-game multi for this week, the Western Bulldogs have got some issues with their tall defenders. We saw that last week against the Adelaide Crows, and I think the Lions might be able to exploit them as well. So we've got Brisbane at 1-39. Logan Morris to kick 3 goals or more. He kicked 4 when they played in Gather Round, and Charlie Cameron to kick a couple as well. That'll give you odds of $9.50. You can check out that market and everything else for the round of footy on the Pointsbet app.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.
The musical chairs of ninth spot. 6 rounds to go until the music stops.
Whoever ends up ninth is going to be bitterly disappointed. If it was the Dogs, what a blown season. If it was Fremantle, it would cost the coach his job. If it was Hawthorn, that would be regression. If it was Gold Coast from here, it would be unthinkable. Geelong could fall out. That would be bitter disappointment.
Raising the temperature again with a Sunday ticket triple header live on Fox Footy. First up, live and exclusive from 12:30, it's Geelong and St Kilda down the highway. We await the response from Chris Scott's Cats.
I thought we played pretty poorly tonight.
Look out!
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
Yeah, I'm happy to be the Grinch.
If anyone relishes the role of September disruptor, it's Ross. Next up, Collingwood and Fremantle. The The Dockers back in 8th after a final term explosion.
Oh, my goodness.
Sending the West into a frenzy.
The Freo fans are on their feet. The group's got a lot of belief. We're really confident with the way we're playing. And, yeah, really fun club to be a part of.
Now, the ultimate credential tester. They come no bigger than the ladder-leading Magpies at the MCG.
That's the biggest challenge in footy.
Rounding out with Adelaide and the Gold Coast, both charging towards September. As if that wasn't enough, the return bout between these two.
Still going on between Andrew and Thilthorpe in the forward pocket. Not happy.
Riley, Thilthorpe and Mac Andrew. A tantalising rematch of talent, passion, box office.
A little bit of abracadabra.
That's the way it goes this Sunday ticket.
Mr. DJ, are you ready?
Right here on Fox Footy.
The setup for round 19, first crack preview coming up in a few minutes' time. To help us with the picks tonight for Pointsbet, we've got Monique Conti with us as AFLW tickets are about to go on sale for season 10. Morning, it's great to see you.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Royalty.
The CV is extraordinary.
Flag, best on ground and grand final, best and fairest for the league. Yes, stop me if I'm wrong. 5 All-Australian, 7 best and fairest. Tigers game record holder and a bit of WNBL when you've got some time.
Thanks for that. It makes me feel good about myself.
That's a CV, Jack.
Oh, my word, it is. Most decorated player in the game currently.
Damn straight she is.
How are preps going?
Yeah, good. We're at the pointy end of pre-season now, so that's always good fun because we're into games now.
Had intra-club today?
Intra-club today, which is always good to get a really good hit out.
Ever win?
Yeah, of course. We all won. Everyone's winners.
I tried that joke in the ad break, didn't work.
The haves and the have-nots in AFLW, what's your sense of coming together? Is the top end still going to be untouchable, or you've been the riser? How far could Richmond rise?
I'm really confident with our game this season. I think we've showed glimpses, but, you know, the challenge is that separates, you know, the really great teams like in North Melbourne's and Adelaide's and Melbourne's, and maybe the bottom end of the ladder is that consistency, so putting those 4 quarters together. And I think, if we can get those teams that are able to do that, then I think it's going to be really challenging competition.
Have you recruited well and drafted well?
Yeah, we have. We have, and we've got some really incredible young talent. So, yeah, we'll definitely be exciting to watch for sure.
What do you know about what's happening elsewhere? What's the scouting like at this time of year before you start the practice matches? Pretty much just focusing on our game and what obviously we can control. Pretty cliche, but yeah, just our game and nailing our defence, our system, and focusing on just us at the moment. Yeah.
No new role for you? I mean, when it works, don't change it. You just stay in the middle?
Of course, Stay in the middle, stay where I'm comfortable, yeah.
Nice.
Okay. What's motivating you right now as you head toward a fresh season?
Well, I think just knowing games are so close is just really motivating. And, you know, we made finals last year, but we lost against Port, so that's definitely making us really hungry because, yeah, we don't just want to make finals, we want to win finals.
And you've got to hit the ground running. The season is what it is, and you can't afford to be slow out of the blocks.
No, we've only got 12 games, so, we definitely can't be slow out of the box. But I think, with Sydney, as our round 1 would be a really exciting game to watch. So, yeah, definitely pop it on your telly.
All right, so get there. afl.com.au/AFLW. That's where the tickets have gone on sale for now. All right, help us out with the weekend picks thanks to Pointsbet. You can lead us on. What is your headline for round 19?
My headline is Kenny pulls out the aeroplane again.
That would be good if he does that.
Controversy.
Yeah. A bit of controversy. I like it. I've gone with the Mac attack. So the Andrews and Thilthorpe battle looms large. And I reckon Mac Andrew, having chatted to him through the week, he thrives on getting under the skin of the opposition supporters. So he'll have them going over there. What about you?
Oh, I went the Zach attack. Man.
Oh, Zach attack?
Yeah. I felt like this grudge match had run out of puff, but you talked me around and, Mon, you've inspired me. So nice. Zach Butters will lead the way for the grudge. Plot twist?
Plot twist, Emma King replaces Cher in the ruck for the ruse.
Nice.
That would be a plot twist. AFL appeal their own verdict, Gerard. They're going back to get the $750
yes.
that they lost.
They're out
just to fire you up again.
AFL flexes its own fixture. So if Essendon can't get within 50 points of the Giants, they're going to change the primetime fixtures and help us all out for the remainder of the season.
I like it.
Last dollar.
Tigers make it 2 in a row up in Perth.
Nice. There's every chance. So I've gone with the Demons. against the Blues, just because there wasn't much value elsewhere, so I'll stick them a neck out.
Yeah, I tell you where my last dollar's not going, and that's on the Eagles as favourites. Leave me out of them as favourites.
Sure, yeah, they are. But that's their one win for the year, yeah.
Worst.
No winning form's good form, Gerard.
Mon, great to have you here. Good luck with your final preps.
Star.
Thanks for having me, guys.
See you for the AFLW season. Gaz, see you Friday night at the Gabba.
Big game, can't wait.
Monday, Coaches Night here. Let's get to first crack preview with Jay Clark.